I'll be honest, not sure how to start this video, but my regular intro just doesn't seem right for such serious topics. So I told myself I don't want to post these more personal videos on my main channel, not just because bitching about anything other than gaming topics doesn't do numbers, but also because I don't enjoy it. Anyway, I'm enlisting this video and linking it on my community tab, and I'm also going to discuss why I involve myself in political subjects on my channel, the latter of which I'll start with right out the gate. Well, there's a few reasons I bring up politics. 1. Clarification on where I stand with certain topics that are brought up by others, like the Ackman calling quantum TV homophobic. 2. I feel a strong need to point out political indoctrination and propaganda in games simply on principle. And 3. The assassination of Charlie Kirk, which has now strengthened my already strong political views. Metatron, a history YouTuber that's been on the platform for years, has been covering the situation with Charlie Kirk as of late, which has inspired me to speak out even more about political topics, despite mine being a gaming channel. This inspiration is what led me to talk more specifically about developers within Sucker Punch who are celebrating Charlie's death. You see, despite the fact that I don't believe in the few things here and there that Charlie said, the man was a Christian who wanted to be remembered for his faith and emphasized the importance of the ability to have conversation. The latter of which I felt really strongly in my heart even before I knew who Charlie was, and still do to this day. I'll try to keep this next part equally as brief. Months ago, I was in a Metal Gear Rising modding server called Modding Gear Rising, a little over a year ago, in what was probably the most terminally online time of my life, the lockdowns. At the time, I was looking to meet like-minded people. More specifically, people that also enjoyed Metal Gear Rising about as much as I did. I thought one day I'd make mods myself, though I did voice a couple mods. I lost motivation to mod the game, lost friends, kept some. Moderators were controlling closeted furries, you know, typical Discord experience. Despite the fact that some disliked that I talked about my own political beliefs openly, the point is I encouraged discussion in good faith like Charlie did. It wasn't just that I was politically opinionated. Metal Gear Rising has its own socio-political themes and morals I was interested in discussing too. But I started sharing my opinions on gender ideology when the YouTuber Funny Wes, who does Metal Gear Rising impressions, was mentioned. Yeah, some people didn't like that. By the way, my Raiden impression is better. Months later, after calling myself the Melanie Mac word, if you know, you know, on my alt account as a joke in general, yeah, that and more was enough to get me banned. I continued to have discussions with people from there in a group chat, not solely political mind you, we talked about things like AI art, and a little too much trolling on my part led to me being called insufferable by one of the members, and I left in what was admittedly an emotional decision. My last break, if you could even call it that, it was so short, I decided to make more of a focus on God. That only lasted a little over a month. Since then, I'll admit I've fallen back into porn addiction on account of being so alone. Instead of meeting people at church or some other gatherings, like say a Charlie Kirk event that I wanted to go to, didn't do that. Never got to meet him. Thanks to all the media people that radicalized the shooter, you fucking pieces of shit. Anyway, like I said in my channel update video, this lack of a third space to meet like-minded people has gotten to me over the years with the effects of isolation caused by homeschooling, which started just a year before COVID. Pair that with only connecting with people online, while that can and did help a little, it's a hell of a lot more important to make friends out in the real world. I really just overstimulate my brain sitting around my parents' house drawing, playing video games, watching a shit ton of YouTube, basically anything to avoid the dark reality that we live in, and distract myself from the fact that I don't have any friends to talk to in my day-to-day life, and so I really don't talk to anyone about my personal issues. But I can't avoid this any longer. This is real shit that requires more focus. Just shifting gears real quick, I don't remember where I heard this, but I hear it a lot, and I think it's more important than ever. Politics is downstream from culture. As I have in my channel's About section, I want to make a game someday. I have a few in mind actually, but I don't have any experience in making games. Like how the Rippaverse is doing in the comics industry, I want to create more of an alternative to this corporate slop that is the AAA market someday, to start making games for the fans. I have copious amounts of pencil drawings of character designs and outfits for my dream game, along with a few other game ideas I've had in mind that will be focused on ahead of time. The writing and what goes into my character design is going to be shared on my second channel, but in the future, whenever I want to get started, there's a good chance I'll want to create some sort of devlog on this channel. I may get a start in comics first though, because that's a better way to establish a narrative before I skip straight to the video game area for my dream project. But a lot of people, especially on the conservative side, I'm an independent by the way, I don't accept any of these fucking labels. They've disregarded these things such as video games and comic books, which has caused a lot of these spaces to be infected by radical leftists with propaganda in the form of games like Dustborn and Take Us North. This of course has also happened to massive franchises like Star Wars, but I'm sure you all know that at this point. Let's get back to this statement. Politics is downstream from culture. Now, what do you think happens to a country when its culture, more specifically its entertainment, is replaced and filled with soulless evil and the demonization of beauty? Well, I'll just save you the hassle and tell you now, it's far from polite society. I don't feel like leaning into making more videos just yet, or streams for that matter. I wanted to go all in with content, but I'm just not ready to do that yet. I have bigger fish to fry. I felt inspired to self-educate myself to a higher degree because Charlie Kirk was a very educated person who encouraged critical thinking and really doing things like reading a lot of these older books, studying, and actually opening a book and reading it, as opposed to the garbage that they teach in public schools like critical literacy. But thanks for your support. I'm glad that I can provide any sort of entertainment, but I need to take a longer break. Thanks for listening to me yap about my problems and I guess the problems of the world that are probably beyond my concern. But I do really care. I do really care about our country, and I don't want to see it fall to radical people. I just want some normalcy. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for some fucking red wave over games. See you in the next video, whenever that is. Bye for now.